Hey. Let me fix my lights. I'm a little early. Decided to get things started. God, we'll decide if we're going to need that here in a second. Let's see here. Get out today's project. I'm not going to start working and showing how to do this until maybe about 10 minutes from now. So just getting things all organized. Tonight's square is not going to take that long to do. It is a relatively quick square to work up, so we're probably going to make a few of them. And then after that, I think I'm going to make another yarn basket. I didn't realize I had that much of this multicolored yarn. Probably got like 4 or 5 more cakes of it. So I will, and I definitely need at least another couple more baskets. Need one, probably 2 or 3 more, but that will be later on. That's not the first thing that we're going to do. And I need to get my ceramic bowl. That's for another day. Why I need more baskets, because all my little balls of yarn need some place to go instead of just sitting here in piles. We're gonna just double check this. And I hope the music levels are fine. Hopefully they're not too loud. Can always adjust those as we go. Let me check the Discord. Think. Yeah. Yep. We're good. And I will turn this light on. And I have to move my fan. All the stuff that happens behind the scenes. Oh, and before we get into it tonight, if there's anybody currently here, I can show off some of the pattern books that I get. Playmaker's had a busy day. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to show them off real quick. The first one, I'm not certain how old it is. It's definitely from the 40s or the 50s. Let me zoom out. There's this one. There's no copyright date. I've been looking, but definitely from that era. This butterfly, you can't really see it. Like all the butterfly edgings and detail work is really cool. That part right there might actually be embroidery, but lacy type things. more of like a pineapple type edging. So that one's definitely old. Move you to the side. This one is nothing but flower edgings, which kind of fits in with our theme of the month. This one is from 1949, and it's been used and loved. I'll just thumb through a little bit. Well, looks like a dress. I know I'm not certain how they would attach it. You'd probably have to use a sewing needle to get the thread in there. But all cool looking. And there's a cool another butterfly, which kind of ties into what we're doing the beginning of next week. We're doing butterfly and dragonflies in our squares. More flowers, another flower. And then, well, the whole thing is flowers. These bell type flowers. And then more on the back side. And our last one is from 1940. And again, this has been used and loved. Let me zoom out a little. We'll do a few of these. Probably not going to do them all, but we will do a few. This right here, one of our things that we're going to be doing, actually, I didn't even pull up my calendar, my planning calendar. It's the first full week of July. We're going to be doing filet crochet. Real basic. That is filet crochet. Okay, Clee Miko. Pretty cool little trims and edgings. Gonna thumb through it. More filet. This is all filet crochet. Very thin, delicate edgings. These here are examples of hairpin lace edgings, which ties into what we've done in the past. A little bit of hairpin lace. Those are cute. These look like little bells or acorns. Not certain what they call that. 8405. What do they call that? Acorns. Yep, those are acorns. These here have knit edgings. I'm not sure if the whole things are knit. Yeah, a lot of these are knit, which we will not be doing. And they even give you instructions on some basic stitches. Crochet stitches, knit stitches, hairpin lace. So that one is from 1940. So got a whole bunch of vintage. Those are all edgings, but we will do other things besides edging patterns when we do our Throwback Thursday, starting in the beginning of July. Let me pull up my calendar. And it is just about 8 o'clock, so I think we can start with our square for the evening. We are doing the, I can zoom in. This is the popcorn flower square by Hooked by Robin on YouTube. I think that one and the one that we did the other week, the water lily, are my two favorites. Not just the color combination I chose here, I like, but just the stitch, the pattern I like, and I really like the popcorn flower. It's textured, and this is super simple to do. It's a simple 5-row repeat or 5-row square. So if we're ready, we're gonna I'm going to do tonight's in this rainbow variegated color for the flower part, and then the background in this blue, just so it'll show up on camera. And I'm using cotton yarn. You can use whatever yarn you want. If I can use cotton yarn on stream, I will use it because the stitch definition definitely shows up. And now I got to pull up my instructions. I've got applications layered on top of applications because I don't have enough screen space, and I've got 3 screens and I still don't have enough space. All right, so we're going to start with a magic ring. You can start with a chain 3 and slip stitch that into a ring, but we're going to start with a magic ring tonight. I'm going to chain 1 just to secure my magic ring. And in the magic ring, we're going to put 8 single crochets. Real simple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to pull that shut, but not all the way. You're going to get it most of the way shut, but you don't want to pull it super tight yet. And then you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet to join. And that is round 1. Zoom in a little bit more. Round 2, we're going to chain 3. And in the same stitch that we slip stitched into, we're going to put a popcorn. So the chain 3 counts as our first stitch of our popcorn. We're going to do 5 double crochets. This is our first one. This chain 3 counts as our first of our 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull your hook out. Put your hook into the top of your chain. Put the loop back on. Pull it through the stitch. Pull tight to form the popcorn. Chain 1 to lock your popcorn, and chain 1 more. The popcorn is going to be the 5 double crochets to make the popcorn and the 1 chain to lock it. So that is considered a popcorn. And then afterwards, you're going to put another chain. You're going to do that in every stitch around. So this round will have 8 popcorns. So go into the next stitch and put your 5 double crochets. And number 5. Pull your hook out. And then you put your hook back into your first one of your grouping. Loop over. Pull the loop through like you do a popcorn. Pull tight. Chain 1 to lock it. That's your popcorn. And then chain 1 more. So when you get down the round, you're going to have 8 popcorn separated by 8 chain 1 spaces. Not a half double, we need a double. And 5. Make our popcorn. Chain 1 to lock it. That's our popcorn. And then chain 1 more for the chain 1 space. 2. 4. And 5. This is also a good square if you want to practice your popcorns, because pretty much the whole flower is nothing but popcorns. So there was our chain 1 to lock our popcorn, and then 1 more for our chain 1 space. And I hope you guys like making popcorns, because the 3 squares for next week all include popcorn. Well, actually, no, the first one doesn't. I take that back. The first one does not include popcorns. The other 2 for next week include popcorn stitches. 5. Oh, I lost a stitch. When I pulled, it didn't catch the hook. I gotta do that 1 double crochet all over again. Bring it through, chain 1, and chain 1 more. Five. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have one more popcorn to make for this round. Chain 2. And now to join, we're going to skip our first, make sure you have 8 popcorns. You're going to skip your first popcorn, and in that chain 1 space between the first 2 popcorns you made, slip stitch into that. So you're going to go over your first popcorn, and in here, we're going to chain 1, and that is round number 2. If you want, you can flip now and tighten up your magic ring, or you can wait to the end. I'm going to tighten it up now. I'm not going to weave in my end right now, but that's a good time to tighten up your magic ring so you don't have a hole in the center. All right, so round 3. In this chain 1 space here where we have slip stitched into, we're going to put in a popcorn. So to start our popcorn, we chain up 3. That counts as our first double. And then you do 5 doubles total, so including that chain 3. So that's 3 there, 4, and now that's number 5. Make your popcorn. There we go. Pull it tight, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 more, and in that same space where you made that popcorn, you're going to put another popcorn. You can move your popcorn you just made over, and in that same space, put another one. But make certain you have that chain 1 in between. And 5. Make the popcorn, chain 1 to lock it, and chain 1 more. And that is the repeat. So you're going to go to the next chain 1 space, put in a popcorn, chain 1, and a popcorn. After that second popcorn, chain 1. You're basically increasing. You had 8 popcorns here. This round we're working on now, we're going to have 16. So you're doing, this is an increase, but with popcorns. 5. Chain 1 to lock, chain 1 because that's going to be our space. And in that same space, put another popcorn. 5. Make your popcorn, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 for our chain 1 space. Go to the next chain 1 space from the row below. And repeat. In each space, it's popcorn, chain 1, popcorn, chain 1. 5. Again, this is the popcorn flower stitch from the YouTube channel Hooked by Robin. Definitely would recommend go checking out her channel. She's got a whole lot of really cool stitches and patterns and designs of all types. The video for this square on her channel, she's making a blanket, and she is joining as she goes. So if you follow her instructions for when you get to the last round, it's going to be a little different than what I'm going to be doing here. I'm not going to join as I go. I mean, I could, but I'm just going to make the square. And 5. But when I get to that point, I'll mention how to do it the way that I'm going to do it, obviously. But if you want to learn the join as you go method, definitely check out her video. 3 and come on. That was number 4, and now one more. Make certain I have 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Pull through. 1 to lock and 1 for the space. And now 1, 2, 3. I'm halfway done this round. Just keep working. In each chain 1 space, you do a popcorn, chain 1, popcorn, chain 1. Five. Two. 4. Now we need 1 more for 5. Again, these squares work up quickly, but they add some nice texture to it. So if you're looking for, let me just double check something that I'm putting. Oops. We made a mistake back here. So if anybody wants to use the frog sound, we made a big mistake. In 1 chain space, we put 4 popcorns. That was not good. We put way too many in there. Alrighty. I was on a popcorn kick. Okay. Let's start that over again. I don't even know what I was saying. And as I rework these popcorns in the correct spots, we're going to have an ad break in about a minute or so. That's 5. I forgot to go to the next space. I just kept like I was wondering why I was getting a little full down in that one section. It's ribbit. Chain 1, chain 1 more. Okay, there's 2 in that space. So 2, 2, 2, 2. 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, when we're at ad break, I'm going to finish this round. And when I get to the end, I'll show you how to join, and then we can move on to round number 4. I'll be back. And welcome back. Thank you for sitting through that ad break. So I've got 15 popcorns. I'm getting ready to do my last one here. So I've already done my chains. So I'm putting my last popcorn. Chain 1 to lock and chain 1 for the space. And just like we did when we did the previous row of popcorns, we're going to skip our next popcorn, the first one we did, and go to the chain space between those first two and slip stitch to join. And then we're going to chain 1, and now we can cut our yarn, pull through, and that is the flower portion. And while we're at that point, I'm going to weave in my tails. Like I said, this is a great square if you want something that's relatively quick and you want some texture. So those popcorns provide a lot of texture. Just going to stitch through a few of these stitches. That should be good for now. Trim. And it's cotton, so I'm not putting that with my acrylic scraps. I'm going to put it into a separate thing for when I go to card my scraps. That would be separate. So there's our popcorn flower. It makes a pretty round flower because the stitches are dense enough, they hold their shape. So you're going to get a perfect circle. So now I'm going to get my second color, which is going to be my border color, my background color. And what we're going to do is we're going to join in one of the chain one spaces. It doesn't matter which one. We're going to join with the standing double crochet. So pick whatever one you want, doesn't matter. You can join however else you want. If you just want to join with a slip stitch join and then chain up 3, that's fine. I've got my standing double, so that is one double, and in that same space, you're going to put in another double. Now we're going to chain 1, and in the next space between the popcorns, we're going to put 2 half doubles. This round that we're working on now is going to square it up. So we put our 2 half doubles. Again, to backtrack, our first one's got 2 doubles, chain 1, and then in the next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1, in the next space, 2 singles, chain 1. The next space, we'll get 2 half doubles. Hey there, RJ Nag, how are you? Oops. So the next space, you're going to put 2 half doubles. Splitting my yarn because it's cotton, and that is one of the characteristics of some cotton yarns. So I got to redo those 2 half doubles. Insomnia sucks. I'm sorry. So we did 2 half doubles, chain 1, and in the next space, this is going to be a corner. So in this next space, we're going to put 2 doubles, 3 chains, and 2 doubles. Okay? Then we're going to chain 1, and in the next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1. The next space gets 2 singles, chain 1. Next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1, and in our next space, it's going to be a corner. So our corner is going to have 2 doubles, chain 3, and in that same space, 2 doubles. And then we're going to chain 1, come to the next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1. The next space gets 2 singles, chain 1. The next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1, and our next space will be a corner, and that gets 2 doubles. Before we do that, I have a knot coming up, so I'm going to address the knot. I don't like that type of knot in there, so I'm going to give a quick little unprepared lesson on how to, another way to tie a weaver's knot real quick. So this is the yarn that I've got coming from my work, and this is the new yarn. Hey, Fairy Dust, I'm pretty good. How are you? So real quick, we're gonna, a different way to doing it, and a quick and easy, I think an easier way to do a weaver's knot is the one in your right hand, put on the bottom of your left, form an X, and pinch it with your finger. And the way I've heard it explained, pretend those are ears of a rabbit, and then the tail. And I'm going to end up removing some of my stitches, which is fine. The tail here, the one on the right, going to wrap around your finger and behind the ears, but then come up between the ears. So let me show you again. The one on the right is on the bottom, the one on the left is on the top. Forming an X, pinch it with your fingers, your thumb and your finger. Treat this as ears of a rabbit. The tail on the right, you're going to go around that ear and go between the ears and pinch that. So you got one ear going through that loop, and this is the other ear. The one on the right, put the ear through that loop, and then you're going to grab both ears of the rabbit and the tail on the right and pull them real tight. And once you do that, then you can pull both tails. You've got a weaver's knot, and then you can trim your ends somewhat close. The rabbit puts its one tail between the ears, and then it puts its right ear under its tail. And then you pull its ears and its two tails to form a knot. Yes. Yes. The rabbit puts a tail between its ears. It's a very flexible rabbit. All right. And you get this knot here, which is, I mean, it's there, but it's a whole lot better than a simple overhand knot. That's a weaver's knot. There's other ways of doing it, but that is one of the quick ways of doing it. Alrighty, back to what we were working on. So we've done our 2 half doubles, our chain 1, and now we're ready for our corner. In our corner, we're going to put 2 doubles, 3 chains, and 2 doubles. Rabbit with 2 tails. Yes. Yeah, no, you haven't had wine yet. Yes, the rabbit has 2 tails. Oops. If I can get this second double crochet. The rabbit lives near a nuclear power plant. That's what it is. Alrighty. So we did our corner, which is 2 doubles, 3 chains, 2 doubles, and then chain 1. In our next space, we're going to do 2 half doubles, chain 1. I've been doing it backwards. No wonder it never worked for me. Yeah, it took me a little while to figure out where to put it and which ones to pull. I always test a knot in a skein. Some are sturdy, most are not. Usually have to make my own knot anyway. Yeah, but this wasn't one. This wasn't a knot that came in the skein. This is yarn I've used and frogged and used and frogged. And I think at some point I cut it and then I joined it together to form one ball. So it was a quick overhand knot that I did. And I don't like those because those are bulky. So I just came across it in my ball of yarn just now and fixed it. Alrighty. So we've done 2 half doubles, chain 1. Our next space, we're going to do 2 singles, chain 1. The next space gets 2 half doubles. I can make the weaver's knot, but I have to lay it all on my lap. Yeah, that's how I used to do it. Been crocheting for 16 years. I think it would have worked out through those years. Learn something new. I learned that rabbit technique maybe about 3 weeks ago, I think. I was on YouTube or whatever, and you're on a YouTube spiral and you click, and I was watching this crochet pattern and that crochet pattern, and then somehow weaver's knot came up. I was like, oh, okay, let's see how the hell this is done. I knew how to do the weaver's knot where you lay it a certain way and you put it over and you do it over, but the rabbit method, at least that's how they described it. kind of works, and it's right in your hand. All right, so I've done my 2 half doubles, chain 1. Now I'm at the last corner space, and I already have the 2 doubles there from when I started. So I just need to put 2 doubles, chain 3, and slip stitch to join. I'm going to slip stitch in the top of that stitch, and I'm going to review what we did. So when we joined, I joined with a standing double crochet. If you want to join however you want to join, that's fine. If you want to do your slip stitch and chain up 3, that's okay too. So I have 2 doubles here where I join, chain 1. The next space gets 2 half doubles, chain 1. The next one is 2 singles, chain 1, 2 half doubles in the next one, chain 1. And then our corner will be 2 doubles, 3 chains, 2 doubles. So that way you've got your long stitches in the corner, and then gradually get shorter stitches in your edge, and you do that all the way around. So again, the next space, there's always a chain space between your groupings. So we've got our corner, chain space. Our next space into our flower got 2 half doubles, chain 1. The next space in our flower had 2 singles, chain 1. The next space in the flower had 2 half doubles, chain 1, and so on. So that's how you square it up. So you have longer stitches in the corners than you do on the sides. All right. So this point here, if you follow the video on Hook by Robin on her channel, she will do a join as you go method. I'm not doing the join as you go method. The only difference is on the join as you go method, when I do the chain spaces in between my double crochets, when you're joining it to another square, you don't do the chain. You would do a slip stitch when you join. That's pretty much the only difference. All right. And I don't want to confuse everybody, but if you want to learn that way, check her video. So we're going to chain 3. I got to double check something. And into the corner space, do another double crochet. Now you're going to chain 1, and in the next space, do 2 doubles. This row is super easy. Then you're going to chain 1, in the next space, 2 doubles. It's amazing how many different ways people do really common things. Slip knot, magic circle, magic knot, joining yarn, invisible joins. There seem as many different ways to do each of them as there are people. Exactly. I knew about like the standing stitches, like if you join with a standing single or standing double. I only ever practiced them in the years past, but in the past few months, I've been practicing them more, and that is my preferred way of joining a new color now. But that's fine if you just want to join with a chain of however many. Yeah, and all the different types of joins. If you want to join squares together or pieces together, there are so many different types of joins. So the rest of the pattern is the same. Is you're going to, in each chain space, you put 2 doubles, then chain 1, and you do that all the way around, except the corners are different. Coming up to a corner right here. Chain 1, in the corner you put 2 doubles, chain 3, basically the same way you did the corner in the previous row. And then in that same corner space, 2 doubles. And that's all it is. So this is a, like I said, the square works up pretty quick, and it's relatively simple, but it definitely makes a dramatic feel to it, especially if you use contrasting yarns. And the texture of all those popcorns really make this square pop. I had seen her video of this a couple years ago, and I've always liked it. And then when I was trying to come up with ideas and squares to do for Granny Month here, I was like, yeah, I definitely have to do this one. It's simple, but it's one of my favorites. I learned a lot of techniques you use from Bella Coco. Yes, definitely check out Bella Coco also. There's so many great teachers and designers and so many resources. And actually, Faradust, if you want, I know you're part of the Discord. You can always, in the YouTubers to watch channel in the Discord, link the Bella Coco channel. Because that channel is just not for me to post. And it doesn't have to be YouTube. It could be other resources. Hey there, Clean Miko. How are you? You're just in time for me to watch me finish this square. I'll be doing another one of these, so don't worry. But again, like I said, the YouTuber channel, the YouTubers to watch channel in the Discord is for anyone to post links to YouTube channels or other resources online. It doesn't have to be just YouTube. So I've just chained. I chain 3 and slip stitch into my first chain, and I'm going to chain 1 to finish, cut, and pull through. She went down easy tonight. Someone or something in the universe must like me today. Yay for children going to bed early. Alrighty. So I'm going to weave in my ends real quick. And I didn't measure the size of this square. I will do that right now. And again, in my case, I'm using a worsted weight. It's a very thin worsted weight cotton yarn and a 5.5 millimeter hook. That's what I'm going to check to see. If it doesn't, you can always make it bigger because the last row is pretty simple to do an increase to make it whatever size you want. I wouldn't go any bigger than another round. It's close to 5 inches, I'm thinking. Actually, it is 5.25, so I would consider this a 5-inch square. So this would be really great for a scrappy type blanket, and I have to be honest, I need to be making more squares. For those of you who don't know, that are new to the channel, those crocheters that I know personally in person, that was kind of redundant, but those that I know in person, it's an idea I had a few months ago to use up scraps for everybody to make squares, approximately 5 inches square, whatever pattern. It could be a regular granny, it could be this one, it could be any type of square, roughly 5 inches, whatever color, as long as it's acrylic yarn. And then when we all have a whole bunch of them get together, we mix them all together and then join them together. And then once that's done, we'll have like a group blanket that we can donate to charity. Obviously, if we get together, it's going to take a long time to join. So my idea would be to mix them all together and then divide them up by whoever is there. And then they can take home a mixture of squares and join when they have time, and then afterwards join all those quadrants or those sections together. So I'm going to make another one because I really like this square. Obviously, I don't think these two would go together because this is bright and cheerful, and this is a little more, I mean, it's still bright and cheerful, but that's a little darker. But oh yeah, and that's fine if it's scrappy and weird looking. The recipient is going to love it because it's going to be warm and comforting. But it's a good way to get rid of your scraps. Alrighty, so let's make another one. For those that are just tuning in again, let me take a drink of iced tea real quick. All right. Is the flower separate? We make the flower first, and then we join the border into the flower. So this is the back side. That's the front. So you're not making the flower and sticking it onto a square. You're squaring up the flower. All right, so we're going to... That itself would be cute for an attachment to a bag. Yeah. Or just do... And I've seen them where they do the granny square bags where their granny squares are all joined like this. And then... I can't... Let me zoom out. And you do another one here and then whatever. And that would be kind of cute. Okay, let's do another one. So, we're going to start with a magic ring. If you can't do the magic ring, you can always chain 4, join with a slip stitch to form a ring. You can always do that. You are going to have a little bit of an open hole in the center. And then into your ring, you're going to do 8 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm definitely doing another one here, and I'll probably end up doing starting a basket because I've only been on for 40 some minutes, and I definitely need content. So we have our 8 single crochets. We're going to tighten up our ring. We're not going to tighten it all the way. And we're going to slip stitch to our first stitch. And that is round number 1. Now for round 2, we're going to chain up 3. And in that same stitch we slip stitched into, we're going to put a popcorn. That chain 3 is our first double crochet of our popcorn. You're going to put 4 double crochets into that same stitch. So we have a total of 5. 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to put your hook into the top of your chain. And then put your loop on. Pull it through. If I can. That chain's a little on the snug side. Pull it through tight. Chain 1 to lock. And then 1 more chain. And then I will return after these adds to continue the round. I will be back. And welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for watching those ads. And thank you, Fairy Dust, for posting in the Discord Bella Coco's video on an alternative to the magic ring. I think I've seen that before. I've never actually done that technique, but I've definitely seen that video before. So thank you very, very much. So where we left off is we've joined our ring. Well, we have joined a ring. We did our 8 singles into the ring, and then where we slip stitched to join, we did a popcorn stitch, chain 1 to lock the popcorn, and then chain 1 more, because that second chain will form a chain 1 space that we're going to need in the future. So you're going to repeat that. In each stitch, you're going to put in a popcorn. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And our popcorns are traditional popcorns where they're 5 double crochets. Five. Take the hook out, put it in the first one, put the loop back on, whoops, pull it through, and then chain 1 to lock, chain 1 more. And you're going to do that all the way around. Whoops. 5. Lock, chain 1 more. So you're going to end up having 8 popcorn stitches in this round. Number 3. If anybody's crocheting along, if I'm going too fast, let me know. Fifth one. We have 6 popcorns. I need 2 more because we're going to have a total of 8. Working on a bag at the moment, and I may have to make some of these flowers to attach it. Yeah, I really like them too, because this square is super easy. You can even just do the flower itself. You don't have to, if you're doing a bag, once the bag is done, you could do the flower by itself and then sew the flower on. You don't have to have the square part. And it's super easy. Five. Go and do my last popcorn here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the last popcorn, chain 1, chain 1 more. And now to join, you're going to, so you make certain you have 8. You have 8. You're going to skip your first popcorn. You're going to go between your first and second popcorn and slip stitch into that space. So it's going to seem weird that you're going to go all the way around, but you're going to want that so they all nestle together. So you've got it here. You're going to go behind your first popcorn into that chain one space and slip stitch to join. This is the part that I like to pull my tail if I'm doing a magic ring, because I have leverage, something to hold on to pull. And that also kind of makes them, all the popcorn, stand up. So we've got 8 popcorn separated by 8 chain one spaces. So in between each one is a chain one. In that chain one space, you're going to make a popcorn. Your beginning popcorn always starts with a chain of 3. You're going to put 4 more doubles into that space. And 5. Go into the top of your chain, just like you started the previous round. You go into the top of that chain 3, the third chain, and that can be even tricky to get in there, but we'll get it. You form your popcorn, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 for a space, and in that exact same space, let's move your popcorn over. That same space, you're going to put another popcorn. Make my second popcorn. If I can not split the yarn, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 for a space. Now you go to the next chain 1 space, and in that chain 1 space, put a popcorn, chain 1, popcorn, chain 1. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. So when you get to the end of this round, you're going to have 16 popcorns, and in between each popcorn is a chain 1 space. You're just increasing from the row before. Five. If you wanted a bigger flower, a bigger square, you can always go another round of popcorns. You can make it as big as you want. If you want the whole thing just to be like a big round rug, if you're using like a cotton yarn or something that's durable, the whole thing just going to be a big round rug that's a big flower, just nothing but popcorns. Again, you're just going to increase each time. There's 3, 4, 5. And when I mean increase, you're putting 2 popcorns in that space. Before, we only had 1 popcorn in a stitch. In between each popcorn, we're going to put 2. Chain 1 to lock, chain 1 for our space, because we're going to end up having a space in between our popcorns. Four, 5. This time doing this round, I'm going to try to pay attention, because when I did my first one, right about here, I ended up putting 4 popcorns in one space, and I had to frog it out. But we're not going to make that mistake this time. I just got carried away, and I wasn't paying attention of what I was doing. These flowers almost look like a dahlia flower. If you know anything about gardening and flowers, they remind me of a dahlia. Speaking of flowers, and I posted a poll in the Discord the other day, and I think some people have reacted to it. Wait a minute. Let me make certain I did this correctly. Okay. I think starting sometime in August, on an evening, maybe once a week, I'm thinking, an evening that I'm not here on Twitch, I am probably going to be doing a live voice chat on Discord in the voice channel section. And I want to show how to do, and I want to make them myself, the crochet along that the Secret Yarnery is doing at the moment for 2023. It's a crochet along where she's making all year long. She has made 12 squares, and each square has a different flower in the center, and they're extremely three-dimensional. I don't want to end up doing it here on Twitch and basically do every single one that she's done. So I think I will end up doing that on Discord. And we'll probably do it maybe once or twice a week. And again, on days that I do not stream. And each of her squares, when they're done, the idea is you can join them all together to make one big blanket, and each square will have a different flower in the center. I think she calls it the Bloomscape cow. Cow, like C-A-L, not like the other night I was in here and I said cow, and somebody thought I was talking about like a cow neck sweater. And then somebody also thought I was talking about a cow, like the animal. No, cow, C-A-L. Alrighty, I'm nearing the end of this round. I got a couple more popcorns to put in. 2, 4, 5. And again, like I've done on my other Discord voice chat, I don't know what we're going to call it, meetings, parties, or whatever. If you're in there, you do not have to be on cam or microphone. And we're not going to be viewing, well, we might view part of the videos, but most of it is going to be me making it. Okay, so I'm at my last space. I got to put 2 more popcorns in there. 4 and number 5. So that's 1 popcorn almost done. Put 1 more popcorn in that same space. But yeah, if you're a part of the Discord and check out that poll, you can react with it with an emoji or reaction, or you can type something in there. I think a lot of people want to definitely see the me working on that cow. All right, so I'm at my last one. I chain 1 to lock, chain 1 for the space, and like we did for the round before, we're going to skip our first popcorn and go into the space and slip stitch to join. That's the end of my flower. So now to end it, like I do, like you pretty much end a lot of projects, you chain 1, cut your yarn, and then pull your hook and pull the strand through and tighten it up. And there you've got yourself a little flower. Real quick, I'm going to weave in my ends. One, If I can get the other one going. Those to the side. So there we've got, I should have double checked before I finished it to make certain I had the right amount of popcorns. Yes, I have the right amount. And like I said, at this point, if you wanted, you can do another round. And yeah, there's enough room that you could do 2 in each. You can just double it each time. If you want to make a bigger flower and a bigger square. But I'm going to stick with what this one, what the pattern calls for. Now we're going to join with our second color to square it up. Let me just check one thing real quick. Alrighty, so I'm joining with a standing double crochet. You can join however you want to join. If you want to join with a slip knot, a slip stitch, and chain up 3, that's fine too. But you're going to go into any chain 1 space. It doesn't matter which one. Oh, it would help if I do what I said I was going to do and do a standing double crochet, not a standing single. So however you join, that counts as a double crochet. And in that same space, you do another double crochet, and then you chain 1. The next space, you do 2 half doubles. I really can't do a half double easily with this yarn because it will split. Pulling through all of that kind of splits it. 2 half doubles, and then you chain 1. You go to the next space, you do 2 singles, chain 1. You go to the next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1. Next space, it's going to be a corner, so you're going to put 2 doubles, chain 3, and 2 doubles in that same space. Again, this is the round that we're squaring it up, going from a circle to a square. And after you do your last 2 doubles, you chain 1, and in the next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1. Next space gets 2 singles, and chain 1. Next space, 2 half doubles, and chain 1. And now our next space will be a corner. So that gets 2 doubles, chain 3, and 2 doubles. And then chain 1. Our next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1. Next space gets 2 singles, and chain 1. Next space, 2 half doubles, chain 1. Our next space is a corner, so it'll have 2 doubles, 3 chains, and 2 doubles. And then chain 1. Working on our last side, the next space will have 2 half doubles, chain 1. The next one gets 2 singles, and chain 1. The next space gets 2 half doubles, chain 1. And now the next space is the space we started on. We already have, it's going to be a corner, so we already have 2 doubles. In that space, you're going to put 2 doubles, chain 3, because it's a corner, and then you're going to slip stitch into your first stitch. And that part was a little on the loose side, but that's okay. And that is round 4. Again, to recap, when you start, you're going to put 2 doubles in your first space, chain 1. The next one gets 2 half doubles, chain 1. There's always going to be a chain 1 between your groups of 2. So the first one gets 2 doubles, second one gets 2 half doubles, the next gets 2 singles, then 2 half doubles, and then we get to our corner, which is 2 doubles, chain 3, 2 doubles, and you repeat the process. So the corners get longer stitches, the sides get shorter. That's how you square it up. And then round 5, we're going to chain up 3. That counts as a double. And into that corner space, put another double. And then we're going to chain 1. And then in the space between your stitches in that chain 1 space, each chain 1 space gets 2 doubles, chain 1. And you keep doing that all the way around. So there's chain 1 space here. It's 2 doubles, chain 1. The next chain 1 space, again, gets 2 doubles. And you split your yarn. Don't forget to split your yarn. I hate it when that happens. Chain 1. And then we have one more chain space. It's 2 doubles. Chain 1. And now we have our corner here. And our corner again gets 2 doubles. Just like we did the row before. Thank you, Clay Miko. Just like we did the round before, our corners are the same. 2 doubles, chain 3, 2 doubles. And again, in between your groups of 2 stitches, gets a chain. So the last round is pretty simple. Again, if you watch Hook by Robin's video on YouTube of this, which again is linked below, when she gets to this point here, she's joining as she goes. If you want to learn that technique, definitely look at her video. She does a much better job than I ever would. But if you want to do them separate and then join them however else you want to join them, that's fine too. You know what? When I get done this square, I was going to work on making another yarn basket out of my tons of red, gold, and white cotton yarn, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do something a little different. What I did well, not a little different. Well, different than crochet. I'm going to do what I did the other night when I had some extra time. I'm going to work on carding. And with that, I can pay attention more to the chat if anybody wants to chime in and ask questions or whatever. And if not, we can just sit here and chill working on that, because that's kind of somewhat mindless. Getting near the end of this square. I'm at my corner now. I think I'm at the corner. Yeah, I'm at the corner. Chain 3, slip stitch to join. Chain 1, I can cut my yarn, pull through, and there. You're gonna go to bed, you're exhausted, and having trouble keeping my eyes open. Okay, I'll catch you later, Claymiko. Glad you can stop in. And that's my second of the popcorn flower. And that was perfect timing that I got that done because we're going to have another ad break. So when I return from the ad, we will going to get out my carding supplies and play around with that. I will return. And welcome back, everybody. Let me just update something real quick. Oh, not that. There we go. So to recap, there was our popcorn flower that we made tonight. And for the rest of the stream, I think we're just going to do some carding. This is some gold yarn from a upcoming sample for next week. Those are the scraps that I've got. And I'm just gonna need to zoom out. I'm gonna open this fiber. Surprisingly, it's opening up pretty well, pretty easy. Probably have too much once. I'm all right. I'm okay. How are you? No, I understand life can get in the way. I'll show you what this is what I made tonight on stream, the popcorn flower square by Hook by Robin on YouTube. Really like it. It's real simple, works up quick, and adds some really nice texture. And now I'm just going to be, like the title below says, or the title under my one camera says, I'm just using acrylic scraps and I'm practicing playing around with carding. Work today was chaos. Everybody was doing last minute Father's Day shopping. Oh, you work at Joann Fabrics. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. Love my job, don't get me wrong, but today made me question your sanity. Yeah. I've I've worked retail before. Oh, I've worked retail. And I used to work at Michael's Arts and Crafts. So I know how it can be. To be honest, the cutting counter had it the worst. So many people decided to get fabric, so the cutting counter peeps are busy, busy, busy. Yep. That is usually one of the busy spots in a Joann's. Um, when I worked at Michael's, they didn't have fabric. Well, they had little tiny little packs that you could buy, but nothing to be cut. They had a little, like, I don't know how many little, maybe a couple yards or whatever in a little pack, more for like a craft type thing, not any sewing or quilting type stuff. Yeah, we didn't have to deal with that. That was back when they had a floral counter and they did custom floral arrangements. They don't have a floor counter anymore. They have floral arrangements that come in from wherever. Honestly, I'm so grateful for people that get the remnant fabric, less work for the cutting counter on top of being crazy busy all day. Mm-hmm. I totally understand. Alrighty, I'm just surprised how well this gold yellow yarn has just like opened up. Again, to explain what I'm doing, I'm taking scraps of acrylic yarn and opening up the fibers on these quote unquote hand cards. They're technically pet brushes, but they still work. Um, we have a floral section, constantly having to give customers advice about what colors will look good together and stuff. Yeah. When I worked there, I started as a cashier and then I was promoted to receiving manager. So I spent most of the day in the back room logging in manifest logs and UPS and FedEx orders and all of that. And then when I got all that done, um, one of the extra tasks they gave me, which I didn't mind, was filling the books and magazines. I made up we had this heavy duty rolling cart that had shelves on it. And I kind of made my own little organizational type thing. We had these wooden crates that we sold, and I took a few of those and put them on this cart, and then I organized the books and magazines in those. So I just wheeled it out to the floor and filled. So that was pretty much my job. I mean, I didn't have to deal with customers too much, but I would. And if they were busy, they would pull me to the floor. Not only did they have a floral counter. The only time I'm only working for about 2 months now. Literally love it. Slow cash but a few times a day. Get to help customers find the specific fabrics, yarns, flowers they need. Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely it's exhausting and rewarding. My problem was when I worked at Michael's. Obviously, back then, this is a while ago when I worked there. I was into yarn, and that's when I was actually just learning how to crochet. And I got a lot of yarn for a really good price. And I've told this story in here before, that company policy was if there was a skein of yarn that Miss Sue, she was the one who worked the yarn department. If she came across a skein of yarn that didn't have a paper band on it, company policy was to clear it out of the system, take the SKU up and have them basically store credit it and then throw the yarn away. Well, my store manager was like, no, we're not doing that. No. Which I agree. He said, clear it out of the system so they get credit, and then take the thing of yarn and put it in a plastic bag. We had plastic bags maybe about 1.5 feet by about 1 foot or so, and they were clear, just plain plastic clear bags, and put a bunch of them in there, fill up the bag, however much you can fit into it, and mark it for like $2. Well, she knew that I crocheted, so she would give me first pick. Well, needless to say, there was never anything left over for anyone else. It was kind of like a grab bag type thing. So that's where I got a lot of my yarn. It was all odds and ends, mix and match. I couldn't actually do a whole project or a large project with them. So that's how my stash grew, which I still have quite a bit of that yarn still. But also, in addition to the floral counter, and they still have it, they had a framing department, and they were busy. They weren't as busy as the floral department, but they made some really nice looking display, like not just frame a picture, but they're like shadow box and different types of framed display type things, and that stuff was pricey. I love the yarn for returns. I get 50% off and then 30% off on top of it because of my employee discount. Nice! Very, very nice. In fact, when I worked there, I think there was an older lady that came in, and she had asked one of my coworkers if anybody there crocheted. Now, Miss Sue crocheted, and I think there might have been someone else. And she asked them if they would crochet a blanket for her. She would pay for the yarn and the labor and everything. She wanted somebody to crochet a blanket for her grandson or something. Oh, wait, it says not 50%. My bad, it's 75 off and 30 on top of that. 75 is the damaged missing product discount. Oh, that's even better. But the customer had asked if there's anybody that would crochet a blanket, again, including the cost of materials and the labor. She wanted it as a blanket to give it as a gift. Well, neither one of them wanted to do it, and they mentioned me, and they came and got me and talked to her. And technically, I shouldn't have. I really wasn't supposed to do it because I was technically working, and that anyway. But I said sure, so I helped her pick out the yarn. She went and paid for it. She gave it to me, and then I said, okay, give me however long. I went home, and it was a classic chevron stripe. It was a wide stripe, but it was a chevron stripe. I think it was like each blanket, there were 2 colors. And I did that, and then, like I said, brought it in. She paid me for the rest, and then she wanted another one made. So that was kind of cool. I get roughly half a skein of yarn for roughly 80 to 85% of the original price. You can't beat that. The only way you can get it is you can get it for free. Which I've gotten free yarn too. Alrighty. So, what I've been doing, I guess you see, I've been opening up my scraps, and now I'm just carding it to open up the fibers even more. And then I'm just going to take it all the way off. I'm by no means an expert at this. I'm still learning, and I'm enjoying this. And now I could take this and then spin it either on my drop spindle or my sewing machine. Actually, there is a way to spin yarn with a sewing machine, which we're not doing that. Spin it on my drop spindle or my electric spinning wheel, and I can make new yarn. So I've got a whole bunch of fluff here, and all of my materials were free. Hey there, Anna. How are you? Yeah, the sweetest old lady coming a few days ago. Did the usual conversation starter that I do with customers. Hi, hello, how are you today? And this lady, she looked to be roughly in the mid to late 70s. She said, I'm wonderful, but not as wonderful as you. And my heart melted so hard. I gave her an extra 25% discount on the entire purchase because I really almost cried. Oh, wow. Don't be sorry for the long chat. I like long chats. Well, that was nice. It was nice of her to give you that compliment, and also nice of you to give her the discount. Just woke up. How did the granny square go? It went great. So there was, well, you could see my example above me. And I made 2 of them tonight. Real quick and easy. I know the other week, Anna, you made the water lily. I know you made it in like oranges and reds. Well, if you like this, this is a whole lot easier. It uses popcorns like you do in the center here, like these grayish purple ones. But all it is popcorns, and it's super, super easy. And love the texture. She was such a kind lady, and literally think about that interaction all the time. Yeah, it's when I worked in retail, it was always the your favorite or the really nice customers that kind of would brighten up your day and make the rude ones less irritating, I guess you would say it. It would distract you from the rude customers because there's too many rude people out there. There's no need for that. Yep, I'm just parting away. Doing great. Had a chaotic day, but I'm calming down, getting ready to start cleaning around the house. Ugh. Cleaning around the house can be chaotic in itself. Okay. I need to separate that because it was getting a little too much. Yeah, speaking of cleaning, I need to vacuum in here because working with yarn, even just little bits of yarn, even more fluff, it gets everywhere, so it definitely needs a vacuum. The house is horribly messy because of mental health and lack of ADHD meds for the past few months. I'm sorry. I hope things improve, and it's cleaning. It's not the end of the world. It's not like it needs to be done right away. 100% understand that. Glad you're doing better today. Your mental health is a lot more important. You finally got them and feeling ready to tackle a disastrous house. Oh, I know how that is. I'm good. I haven't had dinner yet. I ended up taking a really good nap this night. I was up early this morning. I don't know what the reasoning was. I got up extra early and got a few things done, nothing major. Um, and then I was prepping for working on a sample for next week. And then this evening, I took a nap for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then it was time to get up and stream. So when I'm done streaming, I'll get something to eat. My girlfriend and I are tag team in the cleaning, which is so much mentally easier. She's doing the kitchen while I do the living room, and we'll divide up the rest of the house. Well, that's good. That's kind of how we do it here, somewhat. There's different levels, and I'm on the upper level of the house, and I pretty much do just the upstairs. I'll do stuff on the main level also. They basically do the downstairs bathrooms. I do the upstairs bathroom, since I'm the only one that uses the upstairs bathroom. And I do the steps, which I hate vacuuming steps. The whole doing a step, going up, doing a step, going up. For sure, she prefers the kitchen. I prefer the living room. I don't mind cleaning up in the kitchen. I hate sweeping and mopping. Even though the mop we have is one of those microfiber mops that you don't use a whole lot of water. It's like kind of like a spin mop. It's round, and then you put it in the bucket that's made for it, and it wrings it out. But problem is, you're going to move everything, move the chairs, move everything out, and then sweep, and it'd be a pain. Okay. Oh, I, I don't mind doing laundry. I only do my own laundry. And my laundry's easy because I don't really have any whites, so nothing really has to be bleached. So pretty much everything can go all together. I don't really have any lights. It's all pretty much darks. And the part I don't like is putting the clean clothes away. Little secret, half the time it doesn't even get put away. I pull right out of the clean clothes hamper, the basket, and then go from there. All the secrets are coming out tonight. There's actually a few things in that spare guest room that I have to clean up and put away, but it's nothing too major over there. I just need to do it. The secrets stay here on Twitch and on the upload on YouTube, and I've only got 157 followers here on Twitch, and they're not going to tell anybody. This is not opening up the way I want it to open up. I'm going to have to do it by hand. We'll see how this turns out. If this ends up being a mess, it's a mess. But it's a learning experience. And can always card it a couple times. That one I dug a little too deep. What I need to do, one stream, maybe a stream in August, because I got July already planned. Maybe a stream in August. I might just get the spinning wheel out and just mess with it. Not really teaching you how to use it because I'm not one to teach you. Took a break from crocheting this week and looking forward to continuing your table run. Your table runner is gorgeous. I like the colors and I like all the different variety of stitches in that. Anybody who wants to take a look at it, in the Discord, it's in the Whips and Foes channel. The other day she posted a picture of the table runner that she's making. I think you're making it for a friend. I love it. We're going to take this off, and we're going to end up re-carding this. There we go. It's closer to, if you were carding wool, you take fluff and locks. Even this is acrylic. Similar technique. There's some parts I struggle with because of all the color changes, but I guess once I get out of border, yeah, definitely. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up here on stream for those of you who are not in the Discord. Oh, that's the wrong screen. That's not it. There we go. This is the table runner that she's making. Let me see if I can make this. I can't really make it any bigger. I can, but there we go. I just love how each row is like a different stitch. And your stitches are like even and perfect. Great job. Okay, let's move that down. Oh, come on. I'm having some issues with my OBS. There we go. If you don't click it the right way of this overlay, it gets weird. Oh, no problem. Hey, that pattern, I mean, I don't have that pattern, but just looking at that, it's kind of inspiring me to do something similar where you do like a variety of different stitches. I might have to come up with something myself at some point. Not necessarily a table runner, but maybe design something. I need practice on actually designing patterns. And I think that might be an inspiration. So you would inspire me. Alrighty. More fluff. And I'm going to be prepping some more yarn, fiber, or whatever we're going to call it. And that's got a knot in it. I don't want the knot. And we're going to go to another ad once again. Oh, that strand's too long. So when we get back, I will continue with this carding. I will return. And welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through that ad. I open up some more fibers, some purples, and there's some whites and some pinks in there. But I'm going to give you a little sneak peek for next week. And I did this the other night. And I don't know if I had the other one made yet. I might have. So on Tuesday, we're doing this 3D butterfly. In my sample, I don't like the hot pink in the center, but we've got our 3D butterfly square. Tonight was the last night for flowers. So next week and the following week, we're doing wildlife. So there's our butterfly. This definitely needs to be blocked because it's pulling in the center because of the shape of the butterfly. So we'll do that butterfly. And then Thursday, we're doing another butterfly. I like this one a lot better. The YouTube video I got this one from, she sews down her wings and the antennas. I like mine three-dimensional. So, got another butterfly. I like this butterfly better than the first one. And then from the same channel that I got this, we're going to do a dragonfly, but I haven't made the sample yet. I'm working on the sample. So that will be next week. And then following week, we're doing a ladybug and a snail. So that's what's coming up. There's something else I was going to say that's coming up. And I completely forgot what I was going to say. It'll come to me. Probably after I'm done streaming. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Also coming up in July, apart from our Throwback Thursdays of our vintage patterns that we're going to be doing on Thursdays, and Throwback Thursday is going to continue even after July. I'm probably going to do that as long as I feel like it, so that will definitely continue through the summer and the fall. Also in July, on Sunday, July 16th, there will be no temperature blanket that night, but on July 6th, on that day, on the 16th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, I am going to be doing the marathon stream that I had planned months ago, which life got in the way and had to postpone it. So now I have a date for that. I'm going to be making a blanket during that marathon stream. It's going to go until whenever. My goal is 8, 9 hours, maybe longer. I don't know. But when I'm done, if I get done on stream, that's fine. If not, I'll finish it off stream or maybe at the end of our regular streams. When it's done, that blanket will be donated to Project Linus. Again, Project Linus is an organization that takes new handmade blankets, either knitted, crocheted, quilted. There's got a couple other different art forms. And they are donated to children of all ages from 0 to 18 that are in need. So that will be coming up in July. I've had the yarn picked out. I've got the pattern picked out. So that's just waiting to be done. Okay, I got to re-card that because I got some strands that have not opened up all the way because they're right there on the edge. And maybe during that marathon stream, since I'm going to be starting in the morning, and usually I stream in the evenings. So if I stream in the morning and most of the day, then hopefully I'll get some more followers and more people that we can interact with. That's always a good thing. If we interact in a positive way. I will be doing a stream the night before on the 15th. It might be a shortened stream, but I will be doing a stream. And that week before, what is it, the 11th and the 15th, that's a Tuesday and a Saturday. That is T-shirt yarn week. So if anybody has any old T-shirts that's lying around and they don't want to throw it away and they want to make some use out of it, hold on to them, because I will show how to make T-shirt yarn, and then we're going to crochet with that T-shirt yarn. Good recycling project, kind of like I'm recycling my little bits of acrylic yarn that I'm doing right here. Excuse me. Well, thank you. I had a tickle in my throat. Maybe with some of this fiber that I inhaled. But yeah, that is what's coming up. Again, also what's coming up in July. It's kind of like a mixed bag of things. We're not doing any specific crochet stitches. So we're not going to, maybe in August we'll go back to our crochet dictionary and pull some stitches from there. But in July, I'm going to show how to do filet crochet. Like I said, T-shirt yarn, some mosaic crochet, which is technically a stitch, but it's a variation of crochet. And we will also do crochet with beads. Yeah. In addition to our vintage, patterns. Looking forward to all of that. I have to go prep, celebrating your mom's birthday today. Well, happy birthday to your mom. And I'm glad you can join in also. Get some more of my strands. Trying to pick some of these strands that are about the same length. Some of these are way too long. And I'm going to have to cut those. Like, that's way too long. On the side too. I'll have to cut them in half, so they're a little bit easier to manage. Actually, this I know where this yarn came from. That came from the shawl that I made for Claymiko. That is roving style yarn. I recognize that. That's going to be easy to open because it doesn't have hardly any twist to it. So that will card up pretty quickly. There we go. Got a little bundle here that we can start the process. I think when I get this little bit here all fluffed and carded, then we might call it a night. I'm getting hungry. And my thumb's starting to get a little scratched up from this card. pull out some of these strands that aren't really opening up as much as I would like them to. There we go, it's starting to open. That might have to, definitely gonna have to card this a couple times because there's some thicker pieces that are coming through onto the card. Like that yellow bit. But we'll process what we can. Okay. Yellow does not want to open up. Ending with that little white bit. All right, let's recard that. I have some areas that are a little too small. And they might be, yeah, that's forming a net. Little tiny little bits that you're not going to be able to really do anything with. It gets really, they don't want to open up and they're real short. Those are called neps, and you don't want those because they're not really going to spin. I just like the color combinations that I can come up with just by picking a couple different strands. When they open up, they look totally different. Okay, that one's not going to work either. going much, much better this time around. Fibers are all opening up. Alrighty. I think we're going to end that there for tonight. Let me double check. I don't know if there's any. There's nobody on that I'm following that's streaming right now. Oh. Well, that's okay. I will be on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me just check my calendar real quick. Today is there. There we go. Wait. Yeah. Actually, no. I will be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm trying something different with my temperature blanket streams, doing an hour earlier. And also, I didn't stream last Sunday. So we've got 2 weeks worth. So that might be a little of an extended stream tomorrow night. So 7 p.m. Eastern. I think that's on the, I'll have to double check to see if it's on the Twitch schedule. On my schedule. On my, what do you call the thing? We'll do that Sunday, and then Tuesday we're going to start with the first butterfly square. So everybody have a good evening, and happy crafting.